These past couple weeks, I've been in a DC kind of a mood. I really don't know why. I've been playing a bunch of Batman Arkham Knight. I watched the new Flash movie finally. It wasn't terrible. I think it's because the new Marvel stuff has been absolutely horrendous, and I just needed some new, fresh superhero movies. And so, to DC I went. And I thought, hey, I haven't seen those Batman movies that everyone says are amazing in a really long time. I should rewatch them. I barely remember them. And oh boy, was that an emotional roller coaster. Now I know in the title, it seems like I don't like these movies, but they're actually not that bad. Now I really forgot a lot of stuff that happened in these movies, and every time someone asked me what I thought about them, I just said what everyone else said, that they were amazing. But I'd started fresh, a clean wipe, and I have new opinions on these Batman movies. So without further ado, let's see what this legendary trilogy has in store for us. I think the perfect way to describe Batman Begins is good. Just straight up a good time. I had a lot of fun watching this, and it's a very good introduction to this version of Batman. And I wish it was perfect, but it has its issues. The first issue I have with this is, well, Batman. This movie thinks they've made a serious and intimidating Batman. Get those Val Kilmer nips out of here. We got the real Batman. But he's just so funny in this.
I'm Batman.
Every time I see or hear him, I just can't help but give a little chuckle.
Where were the other drugs going?
I never knew. I don't know. I swear to God.
Swear to me!
I know it's hard to make this guy named Batman intimidating, but at least get rid of that voice.
Why? What? Do I look like a cop?
I do really like the Bruce Wayne in this. I think his reason to become Batman is really well paced. It feels like how a real superhero would be born. Oh hey, and Morgan Freeman's in this movie. That's pretty cool. Another funny thing in this movie, Bruce Wayne was trained by a bunch of ninjas called the League of Shadows. This movie is so funny, I just can't help but love it. The writing sounds like the most cringy comic book shit I've ever heard in my life, and I freaking love it.
So what do you think? Does it come in black?
The other thing I didn't like was the villain, or villains. You see, Scarecrow is the villain for like most of the movie, but then he kinda just gets replaced by Liam Neeson and the Ninjago people. The ending is still really good, I just wish they didn't switch villains on us right at the end. I really like this scene when Commissioner Gordon is trying to drive the Batmobile. It's a really cute scene and I wish we got more like it. Other than my silly little nitpicks, I love this movie, cringiness and all. 7 out of 10, fun as hell. Now, the moment you've all been waiting for. My thoughts on The Dark Knight. Everyone's favorite Batman movie, and maybe some of you guys' favorite superhero movie of all time. And I can see that, but you wanna know what I think about this? This movie is boring as hell. It's just a bunch of people talking about shit I don't care about. The ending is dumb, Two-Face is super lame, and Batman still sounds like a complete idiot.
What about this Joker guy? One man or the entire mob? He can wait.
Nah, I'm just kidding. Except for Batman's voice, I can't stand it. I really am just kidding. It's only boring for like a bit of the first act, but then everything after that is absolutely perfection. The pacing is especially good. It's so simple and effective. First, we see that there's a new villain in town, and this opening scene with the Joker is really good. I think the best thing that every movie needs is a good opening and a good ending. And this movie nails the opening. Then we see a little bit of what Batman's up to. And then it goes back to Joker and continues his story, and it does that for a bit until their paths meet. Sprinkled into that is a bunch of boring crap, but we don't need to get into that. Other than that, it is so yummy. And Heath Ledger as the Joker just steals every scene that he's in. He is by far the best Joker ever to be put to screen. He might even be one of the best villains to ever be put to screen. Maybe. He's definitely up there. He definitely saved the first act from its boredom. And what else can I say that hasn't already been said? This movie is just a delight. So let's get into the stuff that I don't like about this movie. I know, right? How is that even possible? Well, I'll tell you how. Batman's voice is horrible. The last movie gets a pass, because at least it made me laugh. But this has gone too far.
If I get him to you, can you get him to talk?
Why did they think this was okay? No one's gonna be intimidated by this. They're just gonna laugh at him. I wish they would just stop it already. Or just get rid of Batman. That's exactly what they do. Batman's barely in this movie. If he's not fighting Joker or Two-Face, it's just Bruce Wayne. And half the time, it's only Bruce Wayne doing heroic stuff, not even as Batman. You can definitely tell that this is not really focused on Batman. It's more focused on Joker. Batman doesn't have a lot to do in this besides use karate to take out the bad guy, which is fine by me because I do not want to listen to his voice ever again.
You wanted me. Here I am.
His voice makes me want to curl up in a ball in the corner and cry myself to sleep. I think I need to sit down for a minute. This movie still has the cringy writing.
What's the difference between you and me?
I'm not wearing hockey pads.
But I think it's a little worse in this movie. This movie takes itself very seriously. So seriously that they probably don't even know that the writing is bad. The cringy writing with the serious scenes just makes everything so awkward.
Know how I got these scars?
No, but I know how you got these.
Now I think I have to talk about Two-Face. I don't think I really like him. Harvey Dent starts out as a really nice guy, always wanting to do the right thing. And then his girlfriend blows up and it's all downhill from there. It's like Anakin in the prequel trilogy. One minute he's the nicest guy you'll ever meet, and then the other he's killing people. It's really forced just to put Two-Face in this movie, and I don't think that they needed it. I guess he must have really liked her to turn that fast. Oh shoot, she cheated on him! Other than my silly little nitpicks, you're gonna be glad to hear this. This is one of the best comic book movies to ever be made. Christopher Nolan, holy crap, good job, man. So I am giving Batman The Dark Knight a 9 out of 10. Joker rocks. Just please stick the landing with the third movie, okay? Can you do that for me? No? Fine! Batman The Dark Knight Rises is wacky. Wait, why is it called The Dark Knight Rises? Didn't The Dark Knight rise in the last one? Stupid name, 0 to 10, this movie sucks. Just kidding, except it does kind of suck. This movie just feels so out of place, and it is just way too long. It is my least favorite of the trilogy, but it still has some things I like about it. We'll talk about that at the end. First, let's talk about how they completely ruined the character of Bruce Wayne. For 8 years now, he has stopped being the Batman and has turned into a grumpy old man. I don't know about you, but this really gets under my skin. And then after 8 years of not being Batman, he finally comes back, and I feel like the movie doesn't celebrate it as much as it should. And I feel like the movie doesn't celebrate it as much as I'm gonna kill someone if I can't get this right. And also, they just ruined Alfred. In the last two movies, Alfred is probably one of my favorite characters in this series. He is by far the best Alfred of all time. At the beginning, he is so on board with Bruce Wayne. He's like, oh, yeah, you can dress up in a costume and go punch people in the face. Yeah, I'm down. But then in this movie, he's just like, oh, but Master Wayne, I don't want you to do that, because I'm afraid you gonna get hurt. And then he leaves Bruce Wayne! What made you change your mind? The first movie, you're like, yeah, this sounds like a good idea. And then literally out of nowhere, he hates him for it. I am just so confused right now. And he's just so obsessed about Bruce Wayne getting a loving family and like living a life, which is kind of cool for the character, but it just literally comes out of nowhere. And before I say anything else, yes, I will address Bane's voice.
Was getting caught part of your plan?
Of course.
Why does he sound like that? The audio is so messed up. He's way too loud. How did they overlook this? Also, something else I should mention about these movies is the choreography. The fights are really bad looking. It is literally just a bunch of people throwing fists and punching. And I think it is the worst in this movie. Some scenes, it doesn't even look like it's supposed to be a fight. Batman and Bane are just like flinging their arms around. And this movie introduces Catwoman and Robin, which I don't think they did a good job of introducing it. Catwoman is the same she's always been, so I guess There's not much they can do. But then Robin is just a little weird in this one. The only backstory we get to him is when he just tells Bruce his whole life story, and then he just leaves. I don't f***ing care. This movie really wants us to care about Robin, and I did not really care about him. So movie, you kind of failed at that. No hate to the actors though, they're doing a really good job. It's just the characters they're playing are just underwritten. Something I noticed in this movie is there are a lot of cops. Normally in superhero movies there are like a few cops in there sprinkled in, but this movie is like revolved around cops. I mean, just look at this scene. This is an army of cops. Batman's plan is for an army of cops to defeat the army of bad guys. Oh, and the bad guys' plan doesn't make any freaking sense. The daughter of the Liam Neeson character has returned to finish what her father started. Huh, so classic. But her plan doesn't really make sense. You see, her plan is to destroy Gotham because it is too far gone and it is ridden with crime. But no, it's not. It looks fine. In fact, it's so fine that Batman doesn't even need to get out of his house. That's how safe the city is. What are you talking about? I think you're thinking of a different city. But also my favorite death in all of Hollywood is in this movie, so...
My father's work is done.
No one dies like that. What was she thinking? Also, this movie is way too long. It reminds me of Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. It's like just one big final battle. I was so bored while watching it. It's like watching Transformers Dark of the Moon. I hate that movie. Even thinking about it gives me chills.
You betrayed yourself.
No, Optimus!
Actually, before I do any more damage, I want to make sure that he's dead.
This movie has so many problems, it's hard to overlook them and get to the good stuff. In fact, I actually can't think of any good stuff in this movie. Like, I'm being serious. I forgot everything about this, except the bad stuff. So I'm gonna give Batman The Dark Knight Rises a 6 out of 10? No, 5 out of 10. Oh wait, Batman still has that freaking Goblin Ghoul voice. Never mind, 4 out of 10.
You made a serious